Maybe the live button. Okay, go ahead. I hate your sound spray. That's in the video now.
Yeah, okay. So I think like a lot of small rubbish like these things don't really need to exist. Like this tree, you kind of just get caught on it and it's just clunky.
There's some
Same with like
attempts at
this
doing
here,
that.
like you can kind of just hide a mini sentry here and it's just like the funny.
Like Nestman would make
Yeah,
this a prop, right? So I think it's
but
pretty
it doesn't
funny.
have
And
collision.
all these fence posts have things removed. So I think because
Yeah,
this guy was a Highlander mapper, there's a good chance that he went through and he tried to optimize for a lot of cushions. But definitely
equally like
the rocks are kind of like a little awkward to play on always.
I feel like right here this ground could be moved up, so it's a lot more smooth of a transition, right, to getting up here. Is getting up here from other like either side.
So
If
you're
you think
saying
about it, this ravine serves no real purpose besides making the like combat space just more clunky.
so in Swiftwater, I think it's about half the scale, right? Am I crazy?
I have no idea. This looks a lot smaller than Swiftwater.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would say, yeah.
But yeah, I do think it doesn't really serve as like a flank because the main hold for the defending team watches it, versus on
Yeah.
Swiftwater where it actually gets behind the hold, right? So it forces some pullback. So it's just a
But
little bit
it's like
awkward than
I
front.
feel like the only part of this first point that matters really is this wall here, the cart's position, and like the way that it rotates, and these rocks here and this wall here.
You're speaking in
Like
terms
just
of
the
playable cover,
yeah, just cover.
because the entire
I
area
feel like
is
that's the only thing that
completely
matters.
flat elevation, right? Minus, ignoring the side paths now. So the only two props you have are a fence and then a second fence.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think of this right route? Because we didn't even touch about this, the high ground route on first.
I think it's bad.
I feel like it kind of just collapses the entire point because they
Yeah.
just rotate up here, and not only do they have like your exit like above you, they continue to have your exit out main and your
Yeah.
exit out all the way to the next point.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So I don't really like sealing off areas, but this might be powerful enough that you have to seal it off.
Yeah.
But in terms of pubs, it just kind of means
I
this
think
point will collapse pretty quickly, right?
looking at it, I bet you could delete
What do you? Oh, hang on, I'll spectate.
because I'm trying to look because this door here.
That's the
Comes up
rotation once you
here.
cap second.
But what if the door was just here, right? But then is that too much?
You mean once you cap second?
You move the door down here.
We're not there yet, but are you just trying to clean up the upper area?
I'm trying to think about how this upper area could. Yeah, pretty much.
I think that would help decongest the. I have two one-way doors right next to each other.
Maybe.
But either way, it's both on the inner circle. So I don't really have an issue with the first point. I think it's kind of like a throwaway, but that's not uncommon or unnatural. In fact, Swiftwater is just a throwaway, so if it's modeled off that, it's perfect. But for second, I think the point is so close that it's generally quite easy to cap. But the flank routes are quite getting a little bit disparate, right? Where behind you, right there.
So this point here.
No, that's the third point. Right?
This is the third point? No.
Yeah. The second's right there.
No, this is
Well,
A.
hang on. I'm blind. Yeah, that's the first point. Sorry, the turntable is there, which I call the invisible point. That's why I was thinking it was the third point. So yeah, that is the second point. My bad. So,
One thing to note about this map, I feel like there's no real purpose to have this dip down into the water. Equally, Equally, like I feel like this geometry here, dipping down, serves no purpose either, right? Like this should just be flat all the way across, because it makes the geometry under this a lot better to work with.
well, one of my primary problems with B is that I feel like it's really brutal to attack in my experience. And Trinix said they didn't really seem to have problems. It's awkward pushing it. They didn't really seem to be an issue. I know on Oprah's, essentially, this is a nightmare to push because there's a full engineer setup where you're standing right now. Full engineer setup at the door, basically down there. And then
So
they
like
just...
here?
No, basically, see that wooden crate? They'll put a dispenser down by that wooden crate, and then people there will just hold the choke, like, infinitely. And
so
then
what
your only options is these flank routes that go all the way behind. Hang on, how do I ent fire funk?
do CP_1. Does that exist?
Ent fire CP_1.
Yeah.
It's yes, that one.
Set owner. If not possible, just do set owner 2.
Set owner 2.
And if not, then try 3. And if it doesn't work again, then we're in tournament mode.
Oh, can I just open all doors?
Sure. But I mean, we could go through this progressively if you wanted.
Yeah, I feel like that would be good, but for now I just want to get my thoughts on paper and kind of go a little bit quick. So talking about second, I still think the problem is that the only way the attacking team has to rotate to the defending team's high ground is an incredibly long snaky route, which means an Uber from main is never going to be able to catch anyone standing where you are right now,
This
right?
door is closed, right?
Yeah, that door is closed until you cap the point. So this entire area is just complete safe haven for the defending team.
Where does red spawn for this point? Do they spawn like all the way back here?
I think they spawn right there. Yep. But it's generally in conjunction with the turntable, it makes it a pretty easy point to set up on. The only thing that's awkward for the defending team is there's not a really good rotation route to the high ground from the pit, because you have to cross the main sight line. You know what I mean? I'm gonna Zek statues. I'm getting sick of watching you. Okay, what was I gonna say? So yeah, it's really hard to deal with players down here. It's really hard to deal with any setup over here. It's really hard to deal with a player sniping like this. Basically, this entire right route is watchable from basically this corner, right? So if you have even just a few people watching this, then it becomes inaccessible to use as a route because this is where the choke expands into the other routes. So I would probably try to make this attacker owned if I was trying to enable making this point push easier. That opposite side, they even have like a one-way window that's somehow supposed to help, but it doesn't really end up enabling anything else. This high ground route is a little too easy to stuff and doesn't give you enough space over the other routes. Because yeah, it is a two-way spam angle. So especially like a demo can basically remove that high ground route. To make it even especially more awkward, if you capture the first point, rotating to the high ground there on the right is incredibly awkward, right? So if I'm not going from spawn,
this here,
yeah, because no, where Penguin's jumping right now, I'll put a soldier here. You see that soldier I put up on the high ground?
dude. This?
Yeah, that guy. So that guy can only be got to from spawn high ground, right? If you're approaching it from the other side, then you come out onto this balcony, you don't really have a way to effectively fight the players both underneath you and over there. That engineer and sniper place are basically unfightable, right? So the only option you have is to rotate through the indoor kind of like small area. So in my experience with, 32-person player servers, so it's a little bit weirder, but it's usually really difficult to push. Anyway, moving on, it sounded like that one of the playtest.
I feel like this wall here should just be removed. The question, it's kind of it's just awful to fight around, right? It should either be fully enclosed or like just removed, because having like weird shit like this is kind of annoying.
I think if it is removed, you need to enable kind of like a back area so people can fight out the doorway. Because currently one of the things you have is a very sharp ascent or very sharp corner to the doorway, which makes it have a huge defender's advantage whenever you have a sharp corner like that. So you kind of need to make an area where you can fight, clear the doorway, and then advance through it. But that's like you're working with very, very collected space right now. Anyway, moving on. I kind of want to talk about, because it sounded like Shunik and the group isn't really interested in that. I think we should talk about the 2-3 transition here, right? So I believe that what they were referring to is blue spawn has that door that we're talking about to the high ground open. Red spawn moves.
So you go this way.
Where are you? Oh, yes, you go that way to roll.
And then
out.
you go here.
Mm-hmm. And what they were saying is that the attacking team was having a very hard time pushing in this kind of transition zone to the third point.
I think one thing that's kind of questionable is what in particular made it hard to push out. Like, was it?
I have to watch a playtest. But I would hazard a guess what it has to do is you are still spawning your initial spawn. And this is a pretty lengthy rollout where you go out and in, and it's a little bit difficult. It's not intuitive to try to get space over the left flank. And if you drop, right? If you drop down and try to push main, like remember that point you're talking about? Look how much height disadvantage you have to push out this door. Just like a little frustrating to deal with. No. From the point. Remember, because it's kind of like in a pit here.
This?
The point itself.
This here.
If you fall down onto the low ground, right? You're not.
Just come in game.
I mean,
Oh,
you're like sitting in.
It's the weird.
What?
It's the weird.
What is?
Look.
Oh, the floating stickies.
It's the weird water. Dude,
What?
it's floating. They're not supposed to float.
Yeah, your sticky's kind of fucked.
No, stickies, they're not supposed to float. I
Yeah,
don't know
that's
what causes this, but stickies have a weird property where some waters they'll just float in, and others they won't.
sounds like something someone will
Anyways,
use for jump map. Anyway, uh, yeah, I can see how it'd be awkward to fight out this door. It's weird because I never really saw this area like stalemate. It doesn't feel like it should because of the third route, right? You don't have a rotation up to this third route, so I'm not really sure how they get stuck inside that area. So I would
I feel like
assume the tank team has
if
control of
it
this
is a
outer.
problem, it's literally a case of widening doors. Like widen this door here, and then widen this shutter here. You know, blast this whole area open. There's no reason for this door. You see this door here? Like blast all this open. There's no reason for this to be enclosed.
Yeah, I think that shutter is because someone's afraid of a sniper, but he can't stay here.
Sure.
Like
But I
there's
mean, you
also
could
like
just
12 rotation routes to
you
him.
could keep the shutter and widen the door. I don't
That's
think
true
there's
too.
much wrong with the shutter. But I mean, this one you could widen this door. You could blast all this area open here.
Okay, but once they have control of this route, how do they push into the next area? See, this is so weird to me because this staging area up here, it's not
It's
amazing,
really
but
bad.
but if you put it like yeah, like down there, I don't see anywhere for like a teleporter to be placed that's like really effective. But from up here, this teleporter is super close and it's hard to like
Well,
chase.
I mean, here's the ultimate question: is if you come down here,
Hmm.
how do I get across to push from that area without crossing the sniper sight line?
Mm.
It's just not
Yeah,
possible.
there's no rotation route that's blocked from main because
Like,
even all these fences don't actually let you cross freely.
yeah,
But see, the cart clearance kind of makes that a bit of an issue.
you know, I bet if you raise this up, pulled this building out a little bit more, and then just added a doorway right here, right? A door right here that then connected up to that high ground. That wouldn't be that bad.
I think that'd be pretty good, yeah, because
Yeah,
this is pretty much where the tanking team is staging, right behind this fence thing that they've put. So
yeah.
they'll stage here, they'll probably have a teleporter on the balcony there or on the balcony left, and then that gives the option to rotate up to this high ground. But the question is, does this high ground actually get you anything, right? Because you have to drop down, right? So you're committed off the high ground now, and you're stuffing yourself through a pretty tall door.
Did they spawn here?
No, they spawn there
Okay.
on the. Yeah, it's locked, so I know they don't spawn.
Okay. Oh, I
Sorry.
feel like
Maybe
one
should
thing
have
that
pushed
I would
hard.
do, one thing that I would do is that I would create this into a enable disable route spawn, right? So this whole spawn room is pushed out to this point here, right? Then you kind of streamline this area accordingly, so that all this area is red spawn. That way, like when I'm pushing into this area, I'm given a lot more space to work with because it's really like clunky to use this route
Just to
right now.
clarify, you're saying it would be a red spawn and then it gets opened up into a room without
Yeah,
a resupply?
basically.
So it
So
becomes
it's
like so it's an open room
yeah.
that is their spawn, and then when it becomes not their spawn, you can still go into it, but there's no resupply cabinet. So it transitions to combat space.
Yeah, basically.
And what you really want is you want this room to be more open because there's like random clutter.
Yeah, I don't see why this is here.
It's the block
Why
the sight
is
line.
this
It's the
here?
block the sight line, 100%. Do you see the sight line across?
No, this sightline doesn't exist. Come.
It blocks the.
No, come.
Okay, yeah, you might be right.
It doesn't exist.
No, I mean,
I don't know why it's
I mean,
there.
like this way, because you could see that it's actually not that long, and also not that scary, and also right next to a ramp. Okay, you're right. I'm not really sure why it exists now.
Yeah, like I think just this room being opened up or whatnot, or just shrinking the spawn room. Like even if you don't want to, go and do the whole like complex
That makes
routing system, you
this
could literally
corner
just
isn't as tight.
yeah take this wall here and then just like pull it into that point. Then you have so much more room to work with. That's just like the easy solution. Delete all this shit over here, widen this door here, so that it's like easier to spam out
By
and
widen,
easier
do you
to
mean like higher or
yeah, just make this like taller.
it's decently high? But you're speaking from a demo perspective.
I don't think it would hurt to make this taller. Hell, you could even blast this whole wall open to an
Yeah,
extent.
I could see that. I don't really like that. There's two openings so close to each other.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like you could just like streamline this whole platform to kind of like 45 over here, right? Go from here to there,
There's sealed off, obviously. Anyway,
and
I
then make
think
this the big door.
the routing also from down here.
Ooh, come over here, come over here.
Sorry, where are you?
right here.
Yeah.
I would close this door here and make this a double window. Because there's no
He already has a
purpose.
double window.
I know, but make this door closed here, right? Or make this one giant door. Because having, I don't know, this kind of feels a little weird.
Well,
Like, do you
I'm
feel
looking
me?
right now, and I think the biggest problem is your rotation route into the high ground as an attacking team, right? You're never going to be able to push main because there's like 5 different avenues you can get shot from. Left side, you are pushing through a tiny door, and if you get pushed back, you have like low ground, and your retreat route is caught by main again, right? So if your retreat route was protected, right, if you could rotate back up or something, it'd be fine. But the problem is you're
True.
caught in this like pinch between main and left, and if you
So
go the
then you're
right
saying
route
add
here,
like a staircase here.
but then the problem becomes, can the defending team use that to flood up to the high ground and harass attackers really hard?
If that is the problem, then it's respawn times that is the solution.
Yeah, you think
Like
because they can just get out rotated?
blue would need a forward spawn at that point. Yes.
I was thinking forward spawn because the spawn's so
I
far
unironically, like, the more that I'm thinking about this map, the more I think that this upper, like, reused highway type system,
is the problem.
when blue leaves spawn, should just be trashed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be
Because
against a forward spawn.
it just adds unneeded confusion to the map.
I mean, there's very
and it
rarely...
makes this front area terrible. So like if you deleted
like the
this and
doors.
then added like a spawn, like here if you follow,
Yeah, you'd put it
like
like...
if you added a spawn over here or something, once you cap that second point and you just spawn from here, that would be really fucking good. Because now you take this option here, you spawn, you immediately get windows of your entire like scenario. You know, you get a window of everything, and then you can go top right. Oh, I don't know why this doesn't connect.
Yeah, that doesn't connect.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like
I know what you mean, though,
get all
yeah.
your options.
It feels like it should, almost.
hmm
Anyway, I see what you mean in terms of forward spawn. That was actually one of my initial thoughts, but I do want to talk about how this right route
no,
works.
I think first things first. I feel like playing with that forward spawn being there would allow you to make it where you can just like attack this high ground. Like high ground wouldn't be that bad. You
Allow
know,
the
like
defender
red
team to
team
actually
could
play out
take
there.
this high ground here, and here if you come into this like little area here, if you widen up this route, right? So come in there.
Yeah, I'm in.
Yeah, you nuke this route here,
It's easier
and
to fight
all of
both
red
ways
team
than
is here. It doesn't matter because they can just like peek a sniper and that would keep them past like that wall there. So they couldn't really use that wall. Like they'd have to,
Yeah.
give you room, and you'd pretty much just have to like fight them in this corridor. Because now you're not fighting over a doorway; you're fighting over like a large space. It's gonna be like fun gameplay.
Well, I think one of the big things too is with a route like this, it's the other routes basically flank it. So if you did have a main hold here, they would basically have your exit. So it's a huge risk to have play like a dedicated combo here.
A little bit, yeah. No, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Like, because, like you said, if a sniper peeks out on that
I think
balcony,
as well,
like, holy crap.
having that door that we said there up to here, like imagine someone just coming main and then just like walking at
Exactly,
you like that.
yeah. It means you can't play any further forward than where those chokes meet. So you would be forced back, basically in this door if you were trying to forward hold this.
I think moving that forward spawn or creating a forward spawn there is like critical. I think that should be a thing.
Okay, but
Like,
one of the things
100%.
okay, so we're in agreement on that, but I want to talk about this route over here. Because what does this look like to you? How do you use this?
The fuck is this? This is our spawn. So this is our future spawn.
Yeah, that's our future spawn. This spawn enables once we cap this point. So ignore this area. Both these doors are closed. So this is a one-way route one-way.
I think
route.
there's nothing wrong with this route. It just needs to be better. Like again, like I come in this really claustrophobic door to fucking hit my face on this and then go, oh shit, and then turn this way, right? It's not good to fight in. It doesn't feel fun to fight in. I feel like if you widen this door here and this door here and made it more like a combat space rather than just chokes,
I was gonna say,
it'd be a lot more.
I think there is the space to work with on
Cool.
this point too, because it's right next to the spawn, and the spawn has some level of clearance.
Dude, this map's weird. It's so weird. You
You
see this?
Sorry, I just saw one of the routes, and
Come. I'm at the.
Yeah.
Look. What is
It's
this?
one way.
No, look at the stickies.
Yeah. I know they're bouncing off, but it's a one-way shutter. Which is, sorry, one-way window, which I don't really
But
get
why
this
can it
one.
not be stickies on the?
It's
I think that's
dangerous-
bad.
It's dangerous to put one-way windows in, like, actual main combat spaces. Because if I see
Agreed.
someone going up those stairs, I can like pre-fire these stairs, and he has no idea I'm here because it's pitch
Agreed.
black.
Agreed.
So I don't like that part.
I think that shouldn't be one way.
If anything, it should just be two-way and expose the players on this, or it should just be
Yeah.
literally open. Like players can
Maybe.
back away from the ledge to
I
avoid
think
spam.
I think one thing that is
But you
also
smash it
like
open,
true.
so I think it's fine. You should keep one of these walls, the left wall or the right wall,
Yeah.
not them both.
I think this should be closed. This should be opened up, and then this one should be turned into a door here, maybe. Or you go the other way around, where like this window doesn't exist. This is closed, and then this is widened. Right, and then you also widen this route. But I think that this widening here is also guaranteed, like should happen.
Yeah, right there. Okay, let's keep talking because I feel like we're going a little bit slow, and I think the main emphasis of where we need the most feedback on is like moving into last, right? So I don't
What the fuck
really
is
mind
this?
it. This, I mean, so you already get
This should be
this.
scrap. This should just be cut.
So this is the kind of thing you do where you're worried that they'll camp forward, right? And you want to give them a route because, as I mentioned, where routes meet, so the red team can't hold any further than this window because this window, if it was behind them, would be crushing, right? But the spawn, you just captured the point. The spawn is that freaking close, right? So instead, this route doesn't need to exist because you're gonna get all this area for free just by pure
Just by
proximity principle.
by the spawn time.
Yeah, and then like as a result, that makes all these routes here kind of absurd because you have like 12 routes that lead to the beach that don't really need to exist.
Another thing to point out is that like this just fundamentally doesn't work for sniper because it's really hard as a normal class to pressure a sniper in this position.
Oh my god.
Like you pretty much have to like full send it for him, right?
Yeah, I don't know how you. It basically means the attacking team gets all
Yeah,
the way to
it's
this
like
corner.
that.
But the cart wastes a huge amount of time going around this segment anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird.
But I think just removing that and then having this be like again like a deathmatch space where eventually blue wins just off spawn time alone is not bad. I think that would be entertaining. This beach area needs to be cleaned up as well. Can we talk about this?
Wait, is this? It says battlements. Is this? Hang on.
Dude,
And fire.
come.
Door closed.
I'm by the
Yes, I don't
what is this
know
called?
why. Yeah, so I think for this entire beach area,
Delete this rock, delete this stump, delete all this shit here, delete some of this foliage
we
here.
gotta back up for a bit because you have, like I said, we have the window route, we have this lower route, and we have all this beach space. But this beach space is completely non-functional for a defender, right? They would only play on the high ground on the far side. So this is what the attacker gets for free. But there's not really like a good reason to rotate out this way.
This is really bad.
Come.
Okay, no.
Did you go back?
Go back to cart.
Yes,
So
I know
first
the
things
store.
first, I feel like this wall here. Yeah, this should be deleted. This wall here should be deleted. There should be a handrail here instead,
Oh,
and it should,
yeah.
like this should all just be opened up,
Just
and
be
this
one
door
space.
should be
So
widened a little bit
handrail
more.
right there, basically
So
connecting
that,
these two rooms.
yeah, this is our flank, and this flank is pretty shit, right? Because you come on low ground, but at least like as long as you can get in and then kind of fight from this position. But I feel like all these posts need to be removed, and this whole terrain needs to be like leveled out. Like it has to be like I'm not getting stuck on everything.
So I would
Like, look, I fall into this. I
would
just don't understand.
bring in the distance this health pack is, because holy crap. I didn't mention this earlier, but I would just use mediums instead of fulls. Fulls are usually degenerate.
Agreed.
But
But there is a medium here actually. If you
yeah,
like.
I know, but I just mean like mediums in general are fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like fulls only. I don't really complain about mediums that much because health pack is kind of like normal gameplay, but like a full health pack can be really, really crazy in terms of like how big of a swing it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the more offensive things about this route is I feel like if you're rotating this far out wide and also going into low ground, I should be protected from a sniper, which I'm not completely at least. Like
Are
there's
you
a
talking
lot
about
of
like this one up here, this one up here?
yeah, and
Oh,
there's
actually,
you can
yeah,
even see
get up there.
like from the point, right? The point can actually snipe this cross too. It just feels like there's so many like holes in being able to be sniped here, despite me thinking it's a safe route. So I would probably just like literally just make it a safe route.
I don't know. Why is it not?
If it takes a handrail or like a wooden plank, I think that's fine if you lose vision in terms of this is what the flank is for you to be able to like rotate behind and kind of aggressive.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway, moving on.
I think what should be done is that there should just be like throwing like a rock here or something, right?
That's pretty much what instead of a rock, I was suggesting like a wooden fence.
A
kind
wooden
of deal.
fence,
But
maybe.
Anyway, this room
But can,
is
can
like,
we just double down, please? Like this, there's so much shit to get stuck on. This should just be deleted.
oh, this is.
All these
I didn't
pillars.
even realize this part's clipped off. So if I was here
hell?
and I wanted to jump to the what?
It's like a
Oh,
hand. Oh,
yeah.
you have a config. You have a config.
Do you have a config?
Yeah, I do too.
Okay, I
What the
didn't.
fuck?
There's a
This handrails.
handrail.
This is awful.
That's kind
It's
of
really
annoying.
really bad to play around. Also, like I can't walk up here even though there's a plank. Like it's bugged.
Yeah, it
I don't know. It's
doesn't have
weird.
collisions. Oh man, does the other one do that? The other one, oh, the other one doesn't do that either. Yeah, map maker moment. But
Yeah, I mean,
so moving on, this room I think should just be deleted. It's not
yeah.
necessary, especially because you own this area. I don't like this rotation route. It
Also, if you
signifies the
come
high
out,
ground, but
you could probably make like widen this ramp here, right? So that you can have a lot more approach space
exactly.
if
So
you're going to delete that. So
I
it's not
would
just like a dead end here as well.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So make this. I would pretty much. I'm tempted to make this a displacement, but it kind of looks nice as a metal hill, I guess. But one
Hmm.
caveat of that is I would essentially add. I would probably add a barrier there, so that you're
If you're
protected
doing
once you're
that,
on
then
height.
like here's what I would do too. Lower this here, right? Because this is bad flow. You see
Hmm.
this thing? Like I have to deal and like consider jumping on this. I feel like all this here should be flat. Should be like one
Maybe I'm
giant
fudge.
plateau.
I think you going up should be protected, and then I don't like this door that has this sharp corner. I think that should be deleted because the main combat space feels like it should be right here. This choke.
Hmm.
So the question is, does that compromise Red's ability to
You
defend a
could
little too much?
possibly delete this entire building,
Yeah.
right? Do all this and then just have it be a door.
So
There's no room to
what
have
I
all
would do,
these
remember
threats
I said
here.
I deleted that back room, right? So what I do is I would delete this building and make this into a platform. And now this is a platform the red team can hold. Okay, and then if you want to have an indoor
And
area, it just
when
connects
you
to
mean
your red
platform, do
horizontally.
you mean like high up platform or like this whole
No,
platform here
pretty much the space it is just with this wall. Yeah, getting axed.
removed? So that all this building here is gone, and it's like from here to there flush of the building.
Um,
My fucking sticky
yeah,
falls off this glass.
Is this another one
Make
way?
all glass on the
Oh
map,
my
not funk
god.
brush. Like the glass being funk brush is what's making these
It's
annoying.
another one way window. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then this
Do you think that there should be another door to get up, or should this be
I
like
was
a
thinking about that.
staircase here?
I think there shouldn't be another way to get up purely because this would already make this pretty attacker favored because it's really hard to hold here because of players over there, right? So you're pretty much forced to hold pretty far back. So are you just nodding? Thanks, buddy.
Remove this stump.
Big complaints. Oh, right. And then, like, this route here, if you look back here, it feels so unnecessary given how much you already have. For starters, this room's height difference is so extreme.
Yeah.
It's, like, ridiculous to... This is, like,
Wait.
I'm looking so far up. What's up?
This is.
This is blue spawn somewhere back there.
Yeah.
No, hang on.
I'm trying to like
This is blue spawn. I found it.
create a map of where I am.
Yeah, sorry. We should have probably enabled spawns if I was smarter. But basically, you can see... If you're fighting from down there, it's ridiculous low ground. And then the fact that you spawn here basically means, again, you can't fight this guy if he's, like, just behind you. There's, like, nothing to be done. And you could say, like, oh, it's, like, not close to anything.
I think what
but
I would do.
I wouldn't have the spawn route.
No. Come.
Yeah.
Widen staircase. Delete lip. Right, so that it's like a giant staircase
you're
up
talking flow
to
stuff.
medium. Yeah. And then have this wall here filled in. Right? So that a player that's up here can't attack you, but they'd have to be in this position in which you get this entire range of motion to attack them. Like you get this entire, wide open area.
I don't like it. Because you have a spawn exit that directly feeds into a flank. That's so weird to me. And this flank is so
But
good
that
over
the
the high
spawn
ground.
exit is enabled after this point's capped, I guarantee. Right?
Is it? I feel like that would make more
Probably.
sense, but
Yes. It very likely is the case. There's no way that anyone would do that in a map.
I closed all the
'Cause
doors.
that would be so absurd.
Okay, I think you're probably right. But I still think it's weird having a route that leads behind like this because it means you can't have anyone out here. So the only red hold is up there, right?
Mhm.
And then to attack it from a blue hold, you have to come out those tiny doors, which is exactly why I was saying that platform should be blasted. So even if you don't have like
Sure.
a cleanish rotation route, at least you have an option to combat these
Oh,
people.
this is actually really bad. Now,
Which
yeah,
part?
now that I'm thinking about it, like this cuts too close towards the inner circle. Like
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
imagine pushing the cart here while dealing with players funneling out of this. This is actually like this whole route could possibly be gutted. Oh, that's even better.
You want to
Come.
gut it?
Yeah, gut that route. Then come here.
Do you need one
Just
more route? Or...
have a route here that attacks that route, right?
Oh, so you would close the...
Maybe. It's a possibility. There's
Still pretty close out of spawn. Like, I feel like the beach...
because
This...
you don't spawn here. You don't spawn here.
You
You
spawn on
spawn
third.
here later. There's no way that you spawn here.
No, you spawn on this point once you capture the third point.
Yes, but you cannot take this door up here.
What?
I guarantee you.
I
Because that would be too far.
Okay, after this we gotta load the map and check.
Okay.
But my impression of this point is that it kind of gets really messy, and this is kind of like the start of the collapse, right? And then last is what generally needs the most feedback. So
Let's talk about this inner building real quick.
this one.
Yeah.
This is the outer building, but sure.
I guess. I'm lie.
What is this rotation? Why do you like?
It
Just come down here, right?
The fuck is happening?
Come back. I want you to come back to the double set of stairs. Why is this a double set of stairs? You would never approach it from this corner because it wouldn't make any sense because the only entrances to this area are from the other side.
Well,
see
I'm
that?
contemplating.
It's just a thought. You would never use this side. There's no reason to use this side. Whatever.
I feel like this here should be enclosed or something. Oh, this route shouldn't exist.
I don't think this route should exist either. And I think one of the primary reasons it shouldn't is because that balcony is not something you can stand on, and it looks exactly the same as the balcony.
But I feel like this whole inside building shouldn't exist because now, okay, now you're putting focus on both this side of the map and this side of the map. It's spreading players too much.
I agree. So if I did want to have that upper area,
I would delete this entire inside area, honestly. Like, this whole indoors area has no purpose.
That's the solution I would do, but if you wanted to keep it, what I would do is
shouldn't.
Come over here.
You shouldn't. Okay,
just
fine.
listen to my suggestion, okay? So first off, it's not very clear you can stand up there when you can't stand up here. So and that's not an area you can stand on. So like it looks pretty much like every other area of the map. It's not very clear that's part of the playable space, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you can stand on that. But more importantly, I think if you did want to have that back area or a high ground, what you should have instead is the boxes one. There should be a rotation route up to the boxes, and then that can be used to harass the other high ground side. So you have blue on one side, red on the other.
No. Because what do you get when you get on these boxes and you attack the people here?
Oh, you're right. You're like spamming them from across the
card.
Yeah.
You spam them across the map, and then when you go to capitalize on your damage, you're jumping into the low ground. That wouldn't function.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I do think that this could function to be mild high ground here, where I put the heavy.
So I think having this be a huge like platform that you use to try and attack this, you know. So say like if you have like a staircase here, you can actually approach this side.
You would need a staircase. So now the beach route has a purpose, right? Because you could take the inner close route and rotate fast on the high ground, or you take the beach route and get the high ground, but it takes obviously longer. And if they own the platform, then obviously you're fighting uphill into them until your players main support you. So you have a main push, which is from here. I'm just going to put the heavy there. He's the main guy. Then you have a flank push from the scout, and they support each other because it's a crossfire going on, meeting at the centralized point.
And then another thing. Oh god, this map has so many problems. Because now I'm thinking like it wouldn't be that bad because you could just try and peek a sniper, you know, like get a sniper in this position. But then the counter snipe, it's like, what the fuck do you do about a sniper up here? Like he leaves his spawn to defend this point. I assume he spawns here.
Yeah.
You come down here.
It's pretty far.
He's literally in his spawn sniping. Like what the fuck?
I mean, I assume the idea is you can use the card to block and there's dry cap, but the thing that makes it really difficult is you're going to have people set up here, and you have to basically break the push before you can dry push.
Yeah. But, like, the sniper, I think this sniper angle here for red is going to be way too oppressive.
I think I remember...
And that's probably why this far building exists, but this far building is degenerate.
To serve as sniper cover.
Yeah. It's not good.
Okay, let's try to talk about last. Do you feel comfortable?
Well, okay, and one thing, if this whole route was destroyed, which I think is like a really good idea, then right about here you'd have the reconnections, right? So you'd start to add the doorways
Yeah.
to connect back into routes to connect up to this lobby, right?
Well,
So basically, the idea of this doorway here.
oh my
Rework.
god. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I'm walking in the maze.
Yeah, this doorway here would pretty much be like implemented either on this, here to go up, or like this wall would be kind of blasted and
Yeah.
allow you to get in through
So I
here.
think the problem here is the map maker limited himself because he wanted that door after the route to reconnect into the lobby. That is the high ground to push into last. But that's what makes this last such a freaking mess. So if this door didn't exist, right, or if this door existed but the only connection route was further back, you'd have a much cleaner left push route. And even then, I don't think push routes should come out this
Whoa,
far
what the
and then back
fuck?
in. And what was his full health?
What do you gain from this route?
I guess you flank the people if they're camping your choke.
I think you get a full health kit. Can't even stand on this. Why can't I not?
Well, don't worry about it. Okay, so we need to talk about fixing last because last is probably the biggest offender of like what the fuck is going on in terms of like routing and everything else.
I think as long as red can defend it, it doesn't matter for right now. I think getting everything else fixed, because no matter like the implementation that you take from all these other like previous paths are going to be like exponentially, I don't know, affecting everything else. So I think
Well,
making all the changes and then coming back to change the last,
I do think
after.
I do think the last on this map is the most problematic point.
Mm,
Believe it or not. If you like here, I'll show you from here in the pit. Right, my rotation routes. I cannot go to the
you
left
can't.
because
Yeah.
remember this leads backwards. So I can't rotate to the right. Like even if I hug the right wall and rotate back, that's not how I get to the right high ground. So if I wanted to get to the right high ground, I have to rotate backwards, rotate left, rotate up, and then rotate right. Yeah. And after doing all of that, we just talked about how the flank supports the main choke. This flank does not support the main choke like at all. Like you can come out onto this balcony, but if you're actually trying to like convert something, this feeds back into the low ground through a stuffable door. And this
Also,
is
this is
generally
degen. This is degenerate.
like all the hiding
Like
spots
you have to fight anyone in the doorway
straight down.
while also fighting all these hiding spots. It's not very good.
Yeah, I'd say that's somewhat accurate.
I don't know. I think um
For the most part, these flanks are kind of non-functional and a little bit
I
too
think
hard
this
to
should just
rotate to.
be easier to fight in and easier to access overall.
Mm-hmm. Do you
I'm
think?
really worried. I want to know where this spawn comes into play, because I feel like this spawn shouldn't exist, right? Like if it's really really hard to push this point up here, then the spawn should be on last, right? Kind of counteract it.
Hmm. The problem is, I think those points are actually decently close together. The third and fourth.
Maybe.
Just in terms of like, if you're taking the inner circle, it's even less, and you instantly fought on that platform. You own that platform, and now the attacking team can't, the defending team can't push you off. You already own the point. So I see why it's there, but it's essentially it's like an anti-pub measure, right? Like the closer your spawns is, the less people have to actually know stuff about your map because the combat's so close. They don't need to know about rotation routes or where they actually should set up. They just feed. Anyway, talking about last, I think the main issue is just that the rotation routes into high ground are really, really bad. There should be like a centralized point, which should basically just be this door where you can rotate to all routes cleanly. Like if there's a right door up, or just like up like that, or left door up, it'd be very nice. Even then, I think the high ground needs to have more access to main. Like this shutter being closed is annoying to me. It feels like this high ground should help
Shutter?
you. Yeah, the blinds. Like I feel like this high ground should be helping you push main, right? Instead, it kind of like sealed off, and when it comes out, it's onto like a really awkward balcony.
Well, I mean, is there any sort of sniper sightline that would be? Yeah, it's to block sniper sightlines up there, because there's no way that you can actually stand up
You
there.
can still snipe the main sightline right here. This is the main sightline, right? I can snipe that all the way back from the shutter. I could snipe it from in spawn, I think.
That's awful. What the fuck? How the fuck do you access this route?
You spend 12 years rotating and then die to the sniper.
You watch this both ways up. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, it goes the other way too. Keep that in mind. So you can get sniped in spawn by attacker. It's also a split spawn, by the way.
This last is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a recommendation, or are you just thinking nuke?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't nuke.
I agree. I want to work with it, but I don't really see how to salvage some of these routes because they're
Uh,
just not connected is the problem.
what is this? Why is this here? What the fuck? It's just like
Traffic jam.
bad flow.
Yeah, that full
Yeah.
health pack room again.
Um,
I think.
fuck. I think this should be a wall.
That's to cut off sightline and give the attacking team some
Yeah.
sort of like basic setup because then they can
I think.
actually
Shit.
stall and then push.
Oh, it's so difficult. It's so tricky. This one.
I think one of the really awkward things is if the attacking team pushes this far forward, the pipes are slanted so that they can get the high ground,
Okay.
and you're not getting the choke or pushing these guys off very easily.
Uh, I think the problem is that this route here serves no purpose.
No,
I,
it's the only option when the attacking
why?
team owns the choke, right? Because if they're pushing up this way and like this, you basically can't
And they
fight
own
them
this. Yeah,
because you
yeah,
can't fight the choke and you can't fight the door that they're watching.
but what?
So you
That
have to
down
rotate.
there?
No, the door right here, right?
No. This down here, I don't think has a purpose. Here, follow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like this route starting from here, then coming over here. I don't think that has a purpose because it's attached to main down there. And so there's no reason for me as a player to go from low ground and work my way like all the way up.
Yeah,
Is there?
it's a little bit of a long rotation.
But like,
I think the main
yeah, I'm
benefit
still
is
gonna
just
get sniped
you're not
by a
visible
sniper here.
and you can. It's the furthest route you can get in without being like spotted because main choke is spotted, upper is spotted. Right?
Yeah. Uh,
I think that flank needs to not come out as much. It needs to be a quicker, cleaner rotation. And then
that flank,
yeah,
with the weird traffic cone in the middle of the doorway. I
yes.
don't even know. This thing should go. This
I don't know,
stupid
call it the
cone.
barrier. Yeah. And then I think the rotation route should be way cleaner. Like I always hate when you have to go somewhere and then you have to go back somewhere like this, right? This map
Yeah.
already has so much of this. This staircase feels like it could just be straight and then come down, and that would cut out on half the rotation time, right? Because look here, right? I go out, I go in, and then I go out again, and then once again I go out,
Well,
and then I go in. That's what makes this route feel so
blast,
long.
blast this door, blast some of this shit over here, and then just make this a one-time up, right? Because the distance between here and there is so little that you could just have this one colossal staircase up, right?
Yeah,
Or
probably.
no?
If it connects to that room, yes.
Yeah. And then this room wouldn't have a wall here, and these both of these rooms would be the same room.
Probably.
Maybe. And then this door here wouldn't exist because I seriously don't think that that route should
I
exist.
think this store is
Anything about that?
this store is also way too tiny. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. Kind of a dust bowl door.
Oh, well, we get the door comparison. They're right next to each other, and they're like
Look at this door here.
it's
Here,
three
come,
times the
come.
other.
This one is terribly small.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I think maybe the attacking team's meant to use this door to clear the players off high ground. I thought that for like
How?
5 seconds. I don't know. Like there's a
No.
sentry there, and it's like a soldier comes down the staircase.
Uh,
Oh man, it's kind of it's getting to be a mess again. Anyway,
I think it's like I don't know. With each change that's made, it's like exponentially more problems can arise. So I feel like just literally opening the map and walking around it, or kind of flying around it and hammer, and then making changes.
that's like a technique that's reserved for people who have the intuition and experience to do stuff like that. It's not very helpful if
I don't know.
you're not sure what the changes do.
I feel like there's so many changes that need to be made to this map that it would be like a very lengthy process.
No, I think
Like it would take a while. Like the first version of changes would probably take like dedication. I don't know, probably 30 hours.
if I was to summarize my thoughts, I think the main problem with second has to do with the spawn distance, right?
Mhm.
And to some part the routing. The main
All
part,
right,
like
no, no, no,
third.
no, no, no. All right, let's go back to first. Let's go back to
No,
first. And now let's just summarize. Like, if you
okay.
were to release a first version of this map,
Mm-hmm.
let's go to first. We can just stick together. Like, what would you change? Because everything that we suggested getting changed instantly is kind of
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, I agree.
Because everything
It's
needs
way
to
too
be
overwhelming.
tested and slowly implemented.
So first things first, I think that first in terms of prop geometry should be cleaned up. I think that's a given. Okay,
Yeah, given.
and that's just like try to make the rocks not be so annoying to play on. Just remove them, or resolve some of the clipping.
I
Uh,
think making the rocks not annoying to play around is a huge plus. And then as well, deleting this platform here and making these walls more rigid, right? So it's like solid walls that just stick into the ground rather than having a platform that you can get stuck on, kind of fighting people in this area.
so he's talking about flow. I think that's
Yeah.
probably enough for the first point. I don't really like the
Mm.
overhang, but in terms of changes, that's good enough, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for
I
second,
think before we continue though, I seriously think on first this here should be deleted. So after you cap second, I think you should get a spawn here,
hmm
right? Some sort of spawn like in a cave right here,
I mean we're gonna
and
get
then
to
you
that,
get put out.
but yeah, sure.
Hmm?
So let's talk about pushing first, like the actual
So okay,
point.
pushing
So
pushing first. I think right now it's in a perfectly like D tier
D
like
tier,
iteration. Like it's not
it's playable.
the end of the world to play this map. I think it'd be a little bit aggravating, but I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, the rotation routes
Like I
exist. The
think
high
it's
ground,
passable.
the routes exist. It makes sense to me. I can read it.
Yes,
I
agreed.
think the turntable has been deleted, potentially deleted.
Potentially.
I think it's a little bit iffy because I feel like the
I
distance
think
between first and second is a little
delete if you're
close.
gonna delete the turntable, then move the point to this line right here, and
Okay.
that's a good enough change. I would straighten out that there. I think that would mean a
All
lot.
right. And then
Are we
personally,
talking about first still or
yeah,
second?
we're still talking about first. So I no, I think that's all about first. Let's move on to second.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right, second. So first thing about second is that we're going to talk about blue spawn being here. I think that's important. Moving that
That's
point,
after you capture second.
yes, after you capture the point that we're saying should be moved there, then your spawn should move like here, you know? That way we don't need this no more. And then I also think that this catwalk here should just connect. Like this here should just be fully connected. Although that you might get problems with this door getting used too much.
You put a huge amount of tension in the
You
door
know
by
what? You know what?
making
Here's
it
what
hard.
we'll do. We'll expand this catwalk out here, kind of like this, except it will extend out once the point's capped, right? So have like a moving like door
That's a
that
beautiful
extends
idea.
out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so that way you can still take this route here, and then you get all the same functionality as like this previous door here for your rollout,
okay.
and it's
Yeah.
just better. Like everything is just better. Um, on this side of the map, I think blast this door open, and I think this shutter is fine as it is. So just like kind of expand this wall greatly.
Well, I think what's still going to be the problem with the point is that it's hard for the attacking team to get on actual high ground that they don't have to give up immediately.
Mm,
So this to get on any high ground basically requires stuffing themselves through the tiny doorway flank.
yeah.
So it's like an issue, but it shouldn't seem to imply that point was awkward but playable. So that's just something to keep an eye out for. Just leave it as it is for now. So we
True.
already talked about the forward spawn. Moving on to third, um,
Um, I think one thing as
staircase door.
well. Yeah, there should be a staircase, kind of like if you're watching me first person view, it should kind of like take you along here. So there's like a
Yep.
door here that you can take to get to this side of the map. Because as it is right now, you can't cross main without getting sniped by a sniper that's sitting. Oh shit. That's sitting like this watching, or that's like down here watching.
Either
There's
of which is
literally no way for me
unpushable.
to cross
Yeah.
there without it taking like holy shit all
A
this time.
very long rotation time, and then you give up your high ground anyway
Mm,
when you actually need to fight
yeah,
anything.
it just takes too long to get up safely.
All right.
All right, let's talk about third.
You also mentioned
Oh, before we go on, all types of rocks that are like this should be deleted because like I'm just getting stuck on them. You know, things like that. Like this barrel has no purpose. Just anal things. You know. Like,
those are clipped well. Yeah, those
yeah,
make
that's
the ramp.
clipped well. This has no purpose. Please delete this.
Yeah, turn into the ramp. That section is
Mm,
pretty funny. Anyway, let's go
delete
left.
these rocks.
I think those are fine. Go left to right here. So the spawn should be shrunk. Let's just go with that. And
So like this here could be pulled back to like this line here, or like half right in between these two, you know, pivot things.
and that would give the holding space here for red a much better
Yeah.
feel to it.
This
Prop
here,
should be deleted.
yeah, this should be deleted. Which scenario do we want for these doors and windows? I mean, one thing too is like this shouldn't be a one-way window here. I think that's kind of too much.
Yeah, I think I like the side that's open now. So the one-way window would be the closed wall.
Okay, so this wall, there's just no window here?
I think it should be closed because the right side gives you vision to it. What do you think?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah, just close all this. What do you think about this door here?
If that
Because I
side's
feel
closed
like
and this
this
is
door,
open.
I feel like this door should be closed because it's just annoying that you have to come in this room and deal with what's in front of you as well as dealing with anything that's right here. Like I can imagine a heavy just sitting here being really annoying, right? And it's like, what, you're gonna like play this counterplay with them? It's kind of just
So it's supposed to
dumb.
be our summary. Okay, I'll agree with
Yeah,
you. If that wall's closed,
this should be closed. No window here. Maybe widen this door a little. It's not that
yeah,
bad.
connect the
I think
two open
this is
doors
pretty
then.
fine. Delete this prop. Expand spawn.
Well, we said connect the two open doors because there's
These two. Oh yeah, sure. You could
yeah.
do that.
And then for that flank, this just
Coming
needs to be
this.
expanded. I think what you do
Yeah.
is you shove the spawn further right, give more width to this doorway. Give more width to the stairway, sorry, and the doorway, and that'll help make it more playable.
You could also make this here a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Make it where I don't get stuck on like barrels and shit.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I think that is pretty good. Okay, moving on past the capture of this.
Yeah. So
Delete this wall and make it like a handrail so that I can easily access. You know, just jump down after the cart. So like I can abandon the cart really efficiently. You know, but I can also like return to the cart really efficiently as well as like a scout or something.
encouraging feeding. Yeah. Beach route should probably be brought in. There's no reason for it to
So
go on so
move
long.
that in like there maybe, and then delete a lot of this clutter, because this stuff on configs and I don't know, just fighting in here doesn't feel that good.
Yeah, I just think you shouldn't be able to access the beach. Just keep people off the beach, maybe. Would that be weird?
If you're gonna do that, then it should be widened. Yeah, like back to here. You know,
Oh, I see.
give you a lot of room to play.
Saying he doesn't
and
want as sharp
breathe.
of a corner, but like a fat
Yeah.
corner. Anyway, this route should protect you from a sniper better. That room to your left should be deleted.
This whole building.
Yeah.
I think this whole route here, going all the way through, all the way to
Basically
this
to
door,
there,
can be
yeah.
entirely deleted.
Mm-hmm.
And then add a door there to then access this room a lot better. There might be sightline problems adding it specifically like that, so I would try and make this, like remove this 45 here and then just add the door directly here. I think that'd be better.
Okay. For the actual.
Let's also talk about this room before we move on.
That's what I was gonna say. Remove the sniper deck.
Yeah, I think this could be removed.
Just doesn't need to exist. I feel like the other areas are good enough.
You want to talk about this room here?
Sure.
I don't even know what the hell to do with this room.
Well,
I honestly, in my opinion, think this room is fine the way that it is because it is such a complex problem that it's like something that you would just put down and the solution will come to you later, very likely. Like as all these new changes are implemented, this can wait. I feel like everything else is more important, and this is just like, it's very annoying, yes, but it's not the end of the world.
I think I agree with that. It could stay for now, but I would go over to the point. Sorry, it's late. And that opposite building should be axed. The building to your left.
This?
No.
Yeah.
Further to
Oh,
your left,
this.
Yes. So that this could make way for a platform. I'd make it slightly elevated, and I'd make it so that you can rotate as the attacking team from basically the payload cart. So
like, what if there was a staircase to the side here, right? So I kind of walk up here, take here, and then I can kind of walk up on this staircase to attack this.
sounds perfectly fine.
Something like that. Also, this here should be flush, so that there and that there should be like flush.
I think it's fine as it is. If you
No, I think it's really annoying to jump around all this crap.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, moving into last.
Remove this rock.
Rotation onto high ground here into the kind of lobby that Pig already mentioned.
This.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So And this could be
Maybe
cleaner.
widen this wall, make this a straight thing up, and then turn around.
Yeah, so lose the wall so that you don't have to do a 180. The staircase is just
Mhm.
straight. And then you could probably have the rotation back if you really, really want to connect your left and right route using this high ground.
Mhm.
Basically, the flanks need to take less time to rotate too. And they basically, you just try to cut as many corners as you can and making them like smoother rotations, is what I see. I also think like from the ground, it should be much easier to rotate up to the height, basically directly underneath you. Yeah, like main. If you're pushing main, you want to rotate to the top right. It should honestly just be a staircase up to the right. I'm thinking, pretty much right there, just going straight up, or like right behind you where red spawn is. You could just
Okay, no,
add.
no, 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 no. I don't think my mic was on. I was actually thinking maybe having a door here and then have a staircase, like a staircase room here to take you up to this platform or this area here,
Yeah,
right?
my only issue is I'm
I
just.
also think this spawn here might be questionable. Like, there's no reason to have this spawn. You could delete this spawn and get more room back, and then just have people spawn on last. Because the distance isn't that bad, and depending on like what happens on this point, right? It might be that holding this point is really easy, especially since like how do you approach this high ground? It's very hard. So moving the spawn back anyways, like to just spawning on last, rather than having this spawn for a third.
Yeah,
I think they have that for second though.
yeah,
Do they?
yeah, they do because that spawn gets moved back and there's no other spawn.
Oh, then I would simplify this spawn to give you more room to have a door here, and this door would have like a staircase room. The
I mean,
staircase room
the other
pretty
thing
much
you could
takes you up here.
do is you could just add a staircase up to the red spawn. So if you go down underneath you, and then
Here?
you look at red
Oh,
spawn,
that, yeah.
yeah, just add a staircase right there.
Shit. Yeah, that's actually like way better. I'm just stupid. Yeah, put
It
like a
also would
staircase
make
here.
it so that you could actually get back into your spawn as a defender, because currently it's
Yeah,
fucking hell.
this tree should go.
Yeah,
But
maybe
yeah,
block
just
this to
make
the
this like a
center.
staircase so it just goes up, landing, then all the way up again. I think that wouldn't be too bad.
You're encroaching on card clearance, but yeah.
No, I don't think it would. Because it'd be on this side. Also,
Yeah.
like this here serves no purpose. So I would just shit. I would just close this door and then move this card in. It gives you a lot more space to kind of work. I
Yeah.
also think like this foliage doesn't really work well in TF2.
Just
Like
like
as far as
head
like
height.
fighting people around this, yeah. Like this is pretty excessive. Same with this, like a demo man can hide stickies in this. Players can get caught on this crap. Put a mini sentry in this bush.
Bush
Even though like
sentry.
mini sentries and bushes is kind of funny. Like that's kind of good in some cases. Sometimes it can be annoying.
Alright. But yeah, in terms of concrete advice for last that is further along, do you have any thoughts?
I think everything else is the most important, and then last will just sort itself. I think I need to play last because it's complex.
Yeah.
Like every point that you make up to last can be very lenient, but the last point is like super critical to get right. So I would rather playtest this last as it is, and then get a mind of what actually is going on to give a more informed opinion.
Okay, I think that's good. Am I good to cut?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think that was a little long.